And we're
Well, good evening,
live.
everybody. Welcome to Mayor's Update. I'm in St. Thomas. Where are you, Grayden? He's
I'm
away.
just over a little bit over in LA, over on the other side of the continent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
I
warm and sunny out here.
yeah, well, it's been warm and not so bad here either. So we're having another week of that winter we didn't have, which is just fine with
Yeah.
me. We got clocks
Well,
going back this weekend, so we know that spring is arriving very shortly. Hey, I noticed from our intro again tonight, we have a picture of the clock on City Hall, and it says 20 after 6. We got to make it read 6:30, so it looks like we're coming on, live every week with the clock, even at City Hall.
yeah, I
Hey,
have to do the edit on that. But we're talking about the heat and we're talking about how hot things are. You've got a pretty hot announcement for our viewers.
oh yes, hot, hot, hot. It's you can't eclipse this one. So here we go. After Grayden, what has it been? At least 3 years, maybe even 3.5 years. We've been talking about
Oh man.
connecting London and St. Thomas by transit. And
Hmm.
thanks to our great friends in Middlesex County, now that seems really out of place, but in Middlesex County, we will have starting April 8th. That's why I use the eclipse joke, right? April 8th. Um, uh, 3 runs each way or 4 runs each way, but we'll get to more details next week about this is just hot off the presses today. A bus service from our transit system to London, over to Dorchester, turn around, come back through London and back to St. Thomas, and it'll just keep that track. It'll run through the London industrial area. It'll run through our industrial area, but mostly also to our transit system. $5 fares. A trip to London, $5 fare. Now, yep, it's not perfect yet, but it's real good, right? And we're willing to give this a real good start and a good try, and try and hook our transit system to it in a better way, so that
What?
when the first bus is leaving for London in the morning, our transit have already been one run and back to our transit system to get people to that if that's what they want. Parking near our transit station, those that can drive that far, then take a bus to Fanshawe College or to London to get to Fanshawe College or the university or medical appointments or work. More details next week, but we'll start to see a lot more released this week by Middlesex County, the operators of this, Boyago, the same service that we are using here in St. Thomas, will be running it. It will be their buses, and we'll have more to come. So we certainly want your questions about it tonight if you have any, but we're pretty proud that it's finally going to happen.
It's incredible. I'm definitely going to be taking it. And we have a question in from Sharon Montgomery Anderson asking if this is going to be out by Amazon at all, this route.
At the beginning, the run will not go Highway 4, but we still continue to have conversations with Amazon, whether they want it, and also Maple Leaf Foods over on Highbury. With some of the construction we have on both of those routes this summer and coming up over the next 18 months with the rebuild of Highway 3 and Highway 4 and our section of Highbury here, we're going to have to be doing some jockeying as to when the buses will be where or where they can go. But certainly if you're an Amazon worker who's been looking forward to this, keep letting us know so that we can share with Amazon that we're doing our part and we can make it work.
That's incredible. Oh man, I know a lot of people are going to be very excited about this announcement.
Yes,
This is
we've been trying to, obviously, as part of our new strategic plan, be looking forward to what other changes we can make to our transit within the budget we currently have with transit. As you all know, and I've shared it on here a number of times, transit does not pay for itself, nor will this run. And right now there's a great provincial grant that's helping with this, but this will be contingent on how many people are riding it. If we can keep the ridership up, it's paying enough of the bills. That's exactly what we want to have happen. And I think it's also only neat that we're the Thames centerpiece to this. It really fits our member of provincial parliament. Rob could come all the way from his house to St. Thomas every day on the bus if he wanted, but it fits our whole provincial riding and currently our federal riding to a T. So it's another neat piece. We've been more connected with Thames Centre in the last little while because of that. And so the Thames Centre connection also gets a connection from a Tilsonburg run going into London and an Ingersoll run. I think they all pass each other and can be transferred back. So they all work pretty well. Middlesex County's been a little bit ahead of us on this rural bus piece. We've been trying to do it, out of St. Thomas. They are already running to Strathroy and over to Grand Bend and some other things like that. So they're already out doing this in a few other spots, and they've got some of the bugs out of it. And now we're going to be up and running April 8th. I expect I'm going to run a bus that morning.
Well, I was saying, you were also saying in terms of the timing, you'll modify the times potentially for the St. Thomas Transit so it tees in perfectly with these new buses that will be running.
Well, that's the intent. In talking to our engineer today, can we get this to council quick enough to do some of that before the first day? Maybe not, but so there's a reduced schedule on the Saturday and on the Sunday, but there still is at least one bus each way in the morning, one bus each way in the evening. And on the Monday to Friday, it's more than that. So we'll be really watch your social media. We're going to really blitz how this thing will work, where you will catch it, how to do it. There'll be an app that you can use to pay for your bus. There'll be a number of different things that we want to get a good message out there, but we think that's a pretty good start. So
cool.
Smiling after a number of years of working hard to get transit connected to St. Thomas.
Well, now that we've got that, can we get a unified transit app for paying for everything? That's the next step that I've seen in other countries and other cities, is finding a way to do a one payment system, which would be exciting to get set up as well.
Yeah. So and a cashless system, if at all possible, to make it really easy not to have to be stopping and doing that from a fare point of view. That's so more information on all of that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because when I was in Sydney, you could just tap your credit card. It would track your credit card number.
Right.
And then that's basically like your transit pass.
It's basically a tap system, right?
It's a tap system.
Right.
And once you've gone over the certain amount, like say they'll only charge you $10 a day. As soon as you pay $10, you tap, but you don't have to pay anymore.
Perfect. When you tap, it says you're already paid up.
You've done. You paid the maximum for the day. You can travel anywhere you want. And this is like oh yeah, no, I was like, this is, and they're looking at doing that in Melbourne as well. And I was like, ooh, this is exciting for North America.
I was doing some quick math. And so you're a student at Fanshawe College and you're driving there and parking right now because there's really no other way for you to get there for classes.
Yep.
And it's over $10 a day for that. So the $5 bus each way is just match that. Even if you add a small amount of LTC, London Transit, to it from White Oaks or to there, but you're not having to use gas or and you could do it without, as you and I have talked before, from an inflationary point of view. There's many families trying to get down to just that one car now, and you're dropping all the insurance and stuff if you can find another way to do it. So perfect way to do it. Let's see how this works out. Grayden and I promise you, we'll talk lots more about it over the next 2 weeks. There's a lot to happen. And so we'll, until April the 8th, Monday, April the 8th, when we kick it off. I mean, it's such a big event. We're going to have the sun block out the moon or the moon block out the sun just because this is happening, right? So can't be better. Like,
everyone's getting behind this.
Glasses and ride the bus.
So you've got a lot of stuff from council as well. Council was last night in St. Thomas.
Let me just do some of it, but I want to say happy birthday. The 143rd birthday of the Corporation of the City of St. Thomas was yesterday. So not bad for 143. Okay, that's the city, not the mayor. I'm not that old. Okay. But lots of stuff. We under community engagement, we set up the road closing system for the road races, the Railway City road races that'll come up later on this year. We accepted the tender for the new Bill Martin Parkway reconstruction. again, came in under what we estimated it would be. The new Elysian Street road construction came in under what we thought it would be. So this is, again, St. Thomas getting out there early and getting some of these really large construction projects happening this year. And right now, every one of them under even the contingency plus the budget. So we're in pretty good shape. We had a presentation about the railway, about the retail holiday act for both Rail City Brewing and Caps Off Brewing, and there'll be a public meeting on that coming up in 2 weeks.
Very good.
What else have we got? Heritage alteration permit for 831 Talbot. That's the new Zesty Desserts. It's the sign in front of their building is meeting heritage, and so that's fine. Under petitions and communications, World Press Freedom Day on May 3rd, and Apraxia Awareness Day on May 14th. And then a couple of other petitions or letters, and the Elgin County will be having a public meeting about their official plan review, their OP, their official plan, on March 19th. And a nice letter from Minister Jones, Sylvie Jones, the Deputy Premier, about meeting with us at Roma and saying thank you for us for bringing stuff to her. So that was all right. A lot of Women's Day events coming up in the next week, in the next few days. And so we talked about those last night at council, and I'll talk about some more. And then Councillor Herbert talked about a fire department workshop he was at. That was pretty much everything for session. Some neat stuff in closed session, and we'll share those with you as soon as they come back to council. Right? Any other questions out there from any of our people or viewers watching today?
No questions online at the moment, but there was some chatter about there was a question online about some a question regarding in-camera sessions. What are in-camera sessions, and why do councils and boards have to take them?
Well, there's a number. I'm going to do the research for tonight, but I'll do it for next week for sure. There's 5 or 6 items that council can go in camera, which means private discussion. All right. About, and one of them is whenever it's an issue of a personnel, hiring, firing, moving, those types of things, because the person is known to the public. We can't discuss that in public. The next biggest one that we do is one based on the acquisition of land or the cost of the acquisition of land. And so that some of that has to stay private while negotiations are going on, because say we're buying a piece of property from a private owner, they don't want their name involved in what the price is until such time as the deal has taken place. So we've had a lot of that during our acquisition of land for PowerCo, or the opposite way. If the city is divesting land that it owns, and we want to make sure we're getting the best amount possible. So that's another one that's done in private. There's 4 or 5 other pieces that can be done in private, or in camera, and I'll make sure that we talk more about them next week. But this gives us a chance to have those conversations among council before such time as they become public. There is nothing that is discussed in camera or in private that doesn't eventually have to come back to council. If it's passed, if that person is hired or dismissed, all of that stuff will become public. It's just in the meeting where we're discussing it for the first time or finishing the work, it's held in private. So, no.
Very good.
It's the way of doing business, and our transparency is still out there for you. We will tell people after the fact why we did it and how it happened.
Very good. Now, you were mentioning some of the events for Women's Day. Yeah, but we should talk about the Intercessors. I don't know if it's sold out yet, but it was $50 a ticket at the Princess Ave Playhouse. No, it's put on by the Elgin Business Resource Center.
It seems like it still had a couple tickets today when I looked, but there's other women's breakfasts and some other stuff going on too. So please, social media is your friend on some of these. I know that there's one occurring at the International Women's Day event on March 8th at the Queso Station. So if you're interested in that one, look up the Queso Station's agenda and find out what that event is, what time of day it is.
Yep. And then the Chamber of Commerce will be celebrating women in our community and posting about them as they do every year. So if you go to their Facebook page, you'll see those posts giving a shout out. And Faye Gallagher says hi. Hi, Faye. Thanks for joining the show.
Hi, Faye. Yeah. So I've got a number of other events. The railway people kind of met with me today and talked about their upcoming events getting even into summer and fall. But so I've got a few of those to cover. But I know there's a couple more coming up sooner that I think you have some information on. So let's share those. Jersey Nights. This sounds like a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons kind of music, which is I know all the words to because my older sister taught them to me. But coming up at the Masonic Center, it's a fundraiser for hospice, and we've got a lot of fundraising still needs to be done for hospice. So some good friends of ours putting this together, and don't want to spoil it. $50 tickets, and and it will be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So please, and that is for what's the date? Where am I on here? I'm trying to read it real quick because I knew it.
It's Friday, April 12th.
Friday, April 12th. Friday, April 12th. Okay. I had to read the whole poster.
You're right at the top. Right. So
yeah. Why wouldn't I start with the top? Because I went down to the fine print. All right. So get those for you. What else have you got?
We've also got the Choral Connection, which is putting on a show.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't know the Choral Connection, they're one of our local choirs, and they're just incredible. And they've got the Mozart Mass in C minor with orchestra and guest soloists on Friday, March the 29th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. Knox Presbyterian Church in St. Thomas. And Knox Presbyterian Church is one of those churches that's absolutely gorgeous inside. So if you haven't got a chance to go inside and take a look at it, this is a great opportunity to be there and hear some incredible music.
Oh, incredible. And the Knox Church is a great acoustic setting for this type of music also. So perfect. Dale asked me about the bus stop signs on Talbot Street. I had a chance because we were talking today was transit all the time, talking about transit to London, and I don't have the answers for you. I finally did get to ask the question and somebody's getting back to me. But we were pretty excited about today's news on transit and the ability to get to London and back and to Dorchester also. With the help of Middlesex County starting April 8th. So Dale, I promise you, I'll be talking so much transit over the next couple of weeks. We'll make sure we get your answers on the missing signs. It's my fault for not getting it done. I'm using some of my spare time to move, which is taking up a lot.
That's right, because for anyone who doesn't know, you're in the middle of a move right now.
Oh, yes. Packing. Right. Yeah.
Yep. And Faye says she's somewhere sunny.
And packed a lot of boxes on something that was there. So maybe I went a little too early on my organization on the move, right? Because, where is such and such? Oh, I think it's in that box. Yeah, no, I'm going to go buy a new one instead of unpacking. I know Stephanie was loading a bunch of stuff to take over tonight. So she's out working doing that. We've got a couple of other things happening at the Queso Station or the Elgin Railway Museum. Bunnies and Brews is the adult Easter egg hunt thing. Sold out, folks. Sorry, I begged for tickets today. They're going to see what they can do for the mayor. But that's a March 28th event in the Easter weekend. And I just said, I'm not big on the Easter egg hunt part, but do I have to hunt for brews or will they be obvious? And they said they would be obvious. The mayor would probably find them. So it sounds like a great event. So if you have tickets, great. If you have tickets you're not using, get them back into the pool because there's people who are looking for them. The bridal show is happening on March 17th at the Queso Station. Comedy night on April 5th. with your MC, Joe Preston, and Eric Johnson is the headliner. And we're looking forward to a really fun night on Friday, April 5th. So I'm kind of rewriting an old comedy routine that I used to use, and trying to make it more current. And we're going to go out, and we haven't done comedy for a while, so it's time to try it again. So that's April 5th at the Queso Station. This next one I promised I would talk about tonight because it's called Fashion Fest, and it's a first responders fashion show. Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to challenge our police, our EMS, and our fire people to contact the Queso Station about being one of the members of this fashion show. And so please, I'm supposed to say, oh, look at all the police are already there. So firefighters, no. We're asking y'all to help as much as you can. It is a show for a fundraiser for mental health for first responders. And so we think it will be a fun night out there too. So that's one of their next ones they're doing. So I think I'll stop there. We'll keep this on our desk so that we can talk about more things happening at the station and the Railway Museum each time. But looking forward to Bunnies and Brews if they can find a ticket or two for the mayor. We'll see how that works out.
Oh, that would be incredible. Now we're jumping into April there. We know that we also have the home show coming up, which is the weekend of April the 12th, and the Impact Awards also April the 12th.
Impact Awards are on that night, on the 12th, on April 12th. And the, as you say, the home show opens on Friday the 12th, but runs all weekend. So you've got a chance to, if you happen to be at the Impact Awards, then you can go to the home show on Saturday or Sunday, and vice versa. I know that the mayor is going to try and do as many of them as he can do. So
it's always
a fun time for me at the home show. Answering the questions, it's like a live mayor's update because everybody walking by has got a different question for the mayor or what's happening in the community. So it's a lot of fun to be looking that way.
Mm-hmm. What else? And Faye wants you to know that she's been there and done that in regards to the move.
Oh, on the moving part? Yeah. It's my least favorite thing. It just is my least favorite thing. Although Stephanie's been phenomenal at urging and even on Facebook Marketplace selling stuff off. She's just been, there's going to be a lot less to move by the time she's done because it's been her. I'm the organized one helping pack. She's the organized one lowering the amount of stuff that we're actually going to pack and move. So way to go, Stephanie, if you're watching. And I know she's not because I know she's busy moving some stuff around tonight. So perfect. If you see Stephanie, say, Joe says you're the best.
So we have an amazing Parks and Rec crew in St. Thomas, and they're really busy around this time of year getting all the parks ready. Do we have some other new things that are being added?
Well, we continue to try and add what I know that we're really looking seriously at more pickleball, and that's another one that we can kind of have to look at. But this time of year, there's a lot of the greenhouses are as full as they can be with growing of flowers. They start pretty early over there at the greenhouse. And with the planning out of what will be going in what garden, hey, take a bunch of these and go put them. We saw some really good garden situations last year too, right? So lots going on. So proud of our large parks, our trail systems. We've got a date coming up, and I want to say it's May 14th, which is Litter Pickup Day here in St. Thomas. So we'll talk more about that as we move forward because our Parks Department needs your help too. If you're out walking, take a trash bag with you. If you're out with your family, take a little run around your neighborhood and see what you can do to clean that up too. But we've got to make St. Thomas sparkle also with all the other great sparkly stuff that's happening in St. Thomas. Let's all work together on Ontario Litter Day this year and see if we can't really spruce the place up.
Now they're really working on a new program, which is kind of cool, which is about the bat boxes. Have you heard about that? So
yes, they're building bat boxes in their spare time. I asked, what spare time do you have? That's like, oh, yes, the mayor could build bat boxes in his spare time. That would mean 0 bat boxes are getting built, but they're getting some built. These bat boxes then can be put up in our parks and different areas. Bats eat their weight in mosquitoes almost every night. It's a great thing to have bat boxes up where the bats can go back in the day and they're in a nice warm spot, but they go out at night and just really lower our mosquito population. And as we've seen in the past, some West Nile and some other things have happened because of our mosquito population. So thank you for mentioning that. It's a, oh, here's a wintertime job. We can make some bat boxes, right? I get it. We probably have some great workshops around town that could also be helping make bat boxes in their spare time. But
well, with everything else the Parks and Rec crew has to do, I hear it's driving a bit batty.
Yes, no, it's okay. You can't come to comedy night now. No,
what? That was a perfect one. That was dad jokes. I love it.
Yeah,
I love being a dad because I can make the joke.
They don't always work in a big crowd as much as you think they're going to work. But often someone will comment, then you can be really funny on the repartee after your dad joke. So, yeah, been working on some. So.
Yeah. Oh man. So I'm down here in LA, and I'm also at a conference. It's one for S&P Global.
Yeah.
So as a father, I pick up different things for Lily while I'm out and about. And S&P Global has these little duckies, which she's got one from last year, and now she's got another one from this year. But I'm staying at the Hilton, and they have a whole fountain of ducks, and you can just take them. I don't know if this is like all like Hiltons
are stealing the ducks from the Hilton.
Someone told me you could just take them, so I made sure I checked with the front desk staff before I walked up and took all these ducks out of their fountain. But apparently it's legit, and they said take as many as you want.
Okay, so is there a pond in the lobby of the Hilton that these ducks are in?
It's kind of like a pond fountain, like
with a low bridge
structure. It's very intricate. It's quite cool. And then you see people coming in, and they start like grabbing the ducks and throwing them in the water and stuff, and they're all put on ledges.
Is it a race of some sort?
No, it should be. There should be like a little waterway that they can race down. I know. I came back last night, and like you can see kind of here in this picture.
Well, maybe we should have a rubber duck race.
Those are all ducks.
Look how neat this is. You've gone upscale this year. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not no, you're doing okay.
No. This is like
a duck in a top hat.
You got all the ducks.
Yeah.
You see all the ducks there, right?
Like, so you're ducks instead of actually getting any real work done in LA. I get it. Yeah.
Well, you got to take breaks sometimes, and like when you're running between the hotel and the convention center, this is what you do. We all got to
do what we got to do. That's
it. Scott Noseworthy says you're batting 1,000. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. I'll take that in reference to my jokes. It's probably not, but I'll take it that way instead. Oh, it looks like our internet is just cutting up a little bit there.
You're meeting lots of famous people.
No, well, not so many famous people. That last year I did, but I think our internet just paused there. Last year I met a bunch of famous people. This year I met someone who's really cool though. His name is Joshua, and he works at the city of Long Beach. So we're talking about like what the city of St. Thomas is doing and what Long Beach is doing. Right. And he was talking about how he's really a fan of St. Thomas. And then we realized he was talking about St. Thomas Virgin Islands. And I said, well, you got to let me know when you come out to St. Thomas, Ontario, because I'll take you out and about, and you're going to love it even more.
We're all fans of that too. If they back our name, that would be better. Faye says, don't take the flamingos. You can take the ducks, but don't take the flamingos. They have to stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would leave the flamingos, but I'm taking the ducks. We're going a bit quacky over here. But we're at the end of our time.
Yes. Thank you again this week. We'll see you next week when you're back. I know you're not back tomorrow, so I'll volunteer you for just about everything that comes up. And we'll see you when you're back in St. Thomas later this week.
Sounds good. Thanks for all the hard work you're doing. Thanks to you and council and everyone putting the regional transit together that we talked about this evening.
We're
And
having
yeah,
fun.
thanks to our viewers and
Yep.
sponsors and everybody. It's yeah, great announcement. Super excited. Take care.
Yep. Well, thanks.